All right, guys, welcome to lesson 2. We're going to learn about these things called coterminal angles today and how to sketch and calculate coterminal angles. All right, so what is a coterminal angle? Two angles are coterminal if their terminal sides coincide. That's fancy language, and you guys might be saying, what the heck does that mean? All right, well, so let's say we have this angle here. Wouldn't you agree that this one over here looks exactly the same? But if I go like this, that's a bigger angle because now I go all the way around and then I go that much more. Now they look exactly the same, and that's because their terminal sides are in the same exact spot. But how many times they had to go around to get there is different. So two angles are called coterminal if their terminal sides are in the same exact spot. In other words, they coincide. Okay. Now I could have done this even differently. There's actually an infinite number of coterminal angles for any angle. I could go around as many times as I want to, and that makes another coterminal angle. So, but it is a different angle because it had to go around more than this one did to get there. Another way you can create a coterminal angle is by going the other way, the negative direction, like that. So basically that's what a coterminal angle is. It is an angle that looks exactly the same, but it's arrived at by going either a different direction or more than once around the circle to arrive at the same spot. Now, coterminal angles are always going to be some multiple of 360 degrees apart. Why is that? Well, if I'm here, all right, let's say I go to this spot right here. If I want to continue my journey and go all the way around, that's adding another 360 degrees to it. So in order to get back to this, I would have to go a full 360. So for instance, if this is 30, then this angle over here would have to be 390 because we have 30 plus another full circle of 360. So 30 plus 360 is 390. Now, we could also, like I said earlier, we could go multiple times instead of just one time around. So we have 30, right? But I could go 360 plus another 360, and that would be 30 plus 360 plus 360, which would be 720 plus 30, about 750 degrees. Okay? So the point is that it's always going to be whatever the smallest angle there is plus 360 plus 360 times n, where n represents a multiple of 360. So if it's n equals 1, that means we're only adding 360 once. If n equals 2, that means we're adding 360 twice, and so on. And because we can go backwards, that's like subtracting 360 a certain number of times. So if you only want to go backwards once, that's like minus 360. But if you wanted to go backwards two full revolutions, that would be like minus 360 twice. Okay, so that is what a coterminal angle is, and also the relationship of each angle with those that are coterminal with it. They're always 360 degrees or some multiple of that apart. All right, so let's go ahead and move on here. All right, so let's go ahead and begin example 1. Example 1 will be numbers 1 and 2 on this little worksheet that I've provided for you guys. So the directions say find a positive and a negative coterminal angle for each given angle. So we have 96. Now I can find a positive coterminal angle by adding 360 degrees to that. Okay, so 360 plus 96. What would that be? I believe that'd be 456 degrees. So 456 degrees would be in the same spot as a 96 degree angle. It's just that it had to go around one more time to get there. Now we want to create a negative coterminal angle. And to do that, we're going to go ahead and subtract 360. So what would that be? 96 minus 360 is negative 264. degrees. There it is. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at another one here. Negative 150 degrees. So, to find a positive coterminal angle, we're going to add 360 degrees to that, a full circle, in other words. And that would give me 210. So, negative 150 degree angles look like pretty much the same thing as a 210 degree angle on a circle. Let's go ahead and do the negative one now. So that'd be negative 150 minus 360. Let's see what that is. That'd be negative 510 degrees. Okay. Now, sometimes you might have to add 360 more than once or subtract 360 more than once in order to get to a negative. So, for instance, suppose I were to give you an angle like 790 degrees. Now, you don't have to write this, but I just want to show you. What if they asked you to give a positive coterminal angle and a negative? Well, if you tried to do the negative, you would do 790 minus 360, and you would end up with 430. That's still not negative, so you would have to do it again. That's 70, and that's still not negative, and then you would have to do it even one more time in order to get your negative angle. So sometimes you have to keep subtracting until you get to a negative, or sometimes you have to keep adding until you get to a positive. It just depends on the size of the angle that they start off with. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys try these next two here. Go ahead and find a positive and a negative coterminal angle for each of these. When you're all done, you can pause it and check your answers. All right, so there are the answers. And there's technically more than one answer to these, right? If you add 360 to 105, you get 465. But technically, we could have added 360 twice and gotten a bigger positive one. So there's actually an infinite number of answers for these. But these are the two that are closest to the one that we start off with. Let's go ahead and move on to our next problems. All right, guys, so let's move on to example 2. For example 2, I'm going to do numbers 5 through 8, and then I'll let you guys do 9 through 12 as student practice too. So for this, we're going to be calculating the angles represented by the red line there. So what is this angle here, in other words? So let's go ahead and get started here. So this is a lot like the one we did last time, where we want to find the missing piece here first. So in there, that would have to be a 5-degree angle because 85 plus 5 is 90. So we have a little 5-degree angle piece there. All right, so now let's go ahead and trace out our angle. So from here to here, that's a full circle there, right? So that's 360 degrees. And then after that, this much of it right here is 5 degrees. So we have 360 plus 5 gives me a total of 365 degrees. Okay, let's go ahead and try another one here. Number 6. Notice that we're going clockwise this time, and so this is going to be a negative angle. Before I begin, though, we want to find this missing piece here. 70 plus what is 90? That would have to be a 20-degree piece there. All right, let's go ahead and find what we can. So from here to here is 360 degrees. And then from here to here is 180 degrees. And then finally, this last little chunk right here is 20 degrees. So we have 3 pieces that we need to add together. 360, 180, and 20. So that's a 560-degree angle, but remember, we are going in a clockwise direction, so it's a negative 560-degree angle. Let's take a look at yet another one. All right, let's do our next one here. So this green reference angle here is telling us from here to here is 150 degrees. Now, this missing chunk over here should add up with that 150 to make 180. So 150 plus what makes 180? Well, that would have to be a 30-degree chunk right there. So we'll do that. All right. Once again, it looks like we're going clockwise, so it's going to be another negative angle. So from here to here is 360. And then from there, we make another 360. And then from there, we make 90. And then after that, we make, well, I guess instead of calling that 90, what we could do is we already know that's going to be 150, right, from here to here. They told us that. So the pink is 360, the green is 360, the blue is 150. So we're going to add all that up. And we want to remember, of course, that this is going to be a negative angle in the end. So negative 870 degrees. All right, one more just for more practice. This reference angle is 75. So 75 plus what would give me 90, and that would be 15. So this little piece right here is 15. Let's go ahead and start calculating our angles here. So from here to here is 360 degrees. And then from here to here would be 270 degrees. And then finally our last bit would be here, which is 75. And once again, it's another counterclockwise angle. So, I'm sorry, clockwise angle. So it's negative again. So the blue portion is 360 degrees. The green portion is 360 degrees. And the pink portion is 75. 12 and 7 makes 19. Carry the 1. 795 degrees. And it's a negative angle once again because we're going clockwise. All right. And so that's how you can calculate the measures of angles. Let's go ahead and toss a couple of your guys' way. There you go. So go ahead and pause the video here. See if you guys can deduce the answers. And when you unpause it, you will see the solutions. All right, so there's the answers. I'll let you guys study those ones for a second. Check your answers. Maybe rework it if you didn't get it. See if you can get it a second time. Let's go ahead and move on to our last batch for the day. All right, guys, so for example 3, I'm going to be doing numbers 13 and 14, and then you guys will get to practice with numbers 15 and 16. This time we want to sketch an angle ourselves. So I want to sketch a 590-degree angle. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to break this down a little bit. I'm going to subtract 360 from that. And as soon as you end up with an angle that's between 0 and 360, that's a good place to stop. So I see that if I have 230 degrees, right, and I add 360 to it, that will give me the angle that they want me to sketch. So in other words, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch a 230-degree angle, and after that I'm going to add another full circle around it, and that will be a 590-degree angle. So my first task is to sketch a 230-degree angle. So we have 90, 180, and 230 would be somewhere in here, probably like right about there. Okay, and that's where I'm going to put my terminal side. But that's not the end of it, because that's just this piece. We also want to add another full circle to it. So we're going to continue around one more time, and that would be a 590-degree angle. So the first thing I did was I subtracted from this 360 until I got to a number between 0 and 360. And then I wrote it like this so that I could think of it as, okay, here's the angle I want to sketch, and then this is how many circles I want to add to it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at another one here, number 14. Let's see, how do we handle a negative one? Well, for negative ones, what we're going to do is we're going to add 360 to it, until we get a number between 0 and negative 360. Okay, so let's go ahead and add 360 to that and see what we get. So if I add 360 to negative 570, I get 210, negative 210. So here's what I know then. I know that if I have negative 210 degrees and I subtract from it another 360 degrees, that will get me the angle that they actually want me to sketch, which is a negative 570 degree angle. So what we need to do is sketch a negative 210 degree angle, and then we're going to add another angle to it, another full circle after that, and that would be 570. But you're noticing these are negatives, right? And that means that we're going in a clockwise direction instead of a counterclockwise direction. So the first thing I want to do is sketch my negative 210 degree angle. So this would be negative 90, negative 180, and negative 210 would be like right about there. And that's where I'm going to sketch my terminal side. But now I want to sketch another 360 degrees in that direction. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add another example in here just for the heck of it. Let's say that we had like a 900 degree angle and we want to sketch it. We'll call this, I don't know, number 14B, I guess, since we don't just squishing a problem in there. But let's say I wanted to do a 900 degree angle. So what's interesting about this one is that subtracting 360 degrees won't be enough to get us where we want to be. I have to subtract 360 again in order for this to work. Okay, so this is 180 degrees plus 360 plus 360. So I would have to add 360 twice in order to get to 900 degrees. So if you ever come across a situation like this where you have to subtract 360 or add 360 multiple times, that means you're going to have that many more circles to add to your angle. So I'm going to start by sketching a 180 degree angle. Then I'm going to do one more circle and one more circle after that to create the 900 degree angle. So from here to here is 180. So there's one 180, I'm sorry, one 360 and another 360. And that would be a 900 degree angle. Okay? So just thought I'd squish that in there as an extra practice just in case you guys come across one that requires more than one circle to be added to it. So here are two problems for you guys. Go ahead and sketch both of these, and when you're all done, you can unpause the video and check your work. All right, so for number 15, we should have one full circle plus a little bit more here to make 400 degrees. And for number 16, we should have one full circle plus that much more to land at about 635 degrees, negative though, because we're going in the opposite direction. All right, and so that's sketching angles. So that does it for coterminal angles today. Coterminal angles are two angles that land in the same spot, but they are multiples of 360 apart. So we've measured them, we've sketched them, and hopefully that was helpful, and we'll put this to some more practice when we get to class next time. See you guys then. Bye-bye.